My name is Bridget Sinclair. Last Thanksgiving, my sister slapped me across the face. Hard enough to leave a handprint in front of 25 members of my family. My mother looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Apologize to her or get out." My father didn't say a word. He just walked to the front door, opened it, and stood there holding it open, like I was a stranger who had overstayed her welcome. So I picked up my coat, I took my keys, and I walked out into the November cold without saying goodbye. That was the moment my family lost me. What they didn't know, what none of them knew that night, was that by Monday morning they were going to lose a lot more than that. Before I tell you about Thanksgiving, I need to give you a number: $330,000. That is the amount of money I put into my family over 16 years. Not an inheritance, not a trust fund. My money. Money I earned, money I wired, money I signed for. The second mortgage on my parents' house, $127,000, my name on the deed. The deposit on my sister's nail salon, $40,000 in one check. My mother's medical copays, my father's supplemental insurance, $1,200 a month, every month, for 8 years. Do the math. It's over $330,000. And in 16 years, not one person in my family ever said, "Bridget paid for that." Not once. But here's the part that turned a painful family story into a criminal case. While I was sitting at their Thanksgiving table in the house I was paying for, eating food I had paid for, wearing a sweater, nobody noticed. My sister had already forged my signature on a legal document. She had already stolen my equity. She had already taken $85,000 from a line of credit, secured by a house my payments built, and she had already spent it. I just didn't know it yet. You need to understand something about my family before any of this makes sense. I was raised more by my grandmother than my parents, and that's not an exaggeration. When I was 6, my dad picked up a second shift at the plant. My mom started cleaning houses on weekends. My sister Vanessa was still a baby, so I went to Grandma May every morning before school, every afternoon until dark. She taught me how to read a budget, how to shake someone's hand, and the crucial difference between being kind and being used. When I was 22, I sat beside her hospital bed and held her hand. While the monitors beeped in that slow rhythm, I still hear sometimes when a room gets too quiet. She looked at me, clear-eyed even at the end, and said, "Keep them together, Bertie. They don't know how." I promised her I would. That promise cost me $330,000 and 16 years of my life. And I want to be clear, I kept it. Every single month I kept it. Not because anyone asked, not because anyone thanked me, because Grandma May loved me enough to ask me to hold her family together. And for a long time I thought money was the glue. I was wrong. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I pull into my parents' driveway at 4:07 p.m. My trunk is loaded with catering trays, turkey, sides, desserts, the full spread from a restaurant near my office. I've been paying for Thanksgiving dinner for 6 years running. Nobody asked me to stop. I walk through the side door. My sister Vanessa is already there, arranging a cheese board like she's hosting a television segment. My mom is right behind her, adjusting the napkin rings. "There she is," Mom says, barely looks up. "Put the food on the counter." No hug. No, "How was the drive?" Just directions. Vanessa waves a cracker at me. "You're late." "It's 4:07. I said 4 o'clock. I say nothing. I start unloading trays, and through the doorway, I hear Mom in the living room. "Vanessa's been here since noon. She handles everything for us, you know." I look around the kitchen, the quartz countertops I paid for last spring, the recessed lighting I wired the deposit on, the back door with the glass insert. All me. And not one person in this house has ever said, "Bridget paid for that." That's when I noticed the envelope. First, Heritage Bank. the lender on my parents' second mortgage, sitting on the counter near the toaster. The flap slightly peeled at the corner, like someone opened it and resealed it. I reach for it. Don't touch that. Vanessa, behind me. Fast, too fast. That's Mom and Dad's mail. I put it down, but I don't forget it. By 7 p.m., the house has 25 people in it. Mom parading Vanessa through the room like a prize. You all know my Vanessa, running her own business. She's doing so well. Vanessa talks about the salon's new gel line. Makes it sound like she's expanding. I happen to know the salon has lost money 3 months straight. I've seen the financial statements. They crossed my desk when I handled her loan paperwork. Aunt Colleen's daughter asks me what I do. Before I can answer, Mom cuts in. Oh, Bridget works up north. Some office job. Some office job. I am the director of business development for a commercial construction firm. I manage projects worth more than every house on this block combined. But sure, some office job. In the hallway near the bathroom, Vanessa grabs my arm. Her grip is tight. Her voice is a whisper, but her tone is a command. Don't mention the loan. I told Mom it's paid off. It is not paid off. Just smile and stay out of my way. That's all you have to do. She walks away. I stand alone in the hallway. And then, after dinner, during the drift, when some people move to the living room and kids scatter to the basement, I hear Vanessa's voice rise over the noise. She's on the arm of the sofa, holding out her right hand like she's modeling for a catalog. Mom gave it to me last week, she's saying. Isn't it gorgeous? I stop in the doorway. I know that ring. Oval sapphire, thin gold band, a tiny nick on the setting where Grandma May caught it on a garden fence in 1987. She used to let me try it on when I was little. It swallowed my finger every time. Grandma May told me that ring was mine. She said it in front of my mother. She said it the summer before she died. Where did you get that? My voice comes out flatter than I intend. Vanessa smiles. Mom gave it to me. She said Grandma would have wanted me to have it. I look at Mom. Mom nods. Vanessa's here every day. She deserves it. The room goes quiet. That particular quiet, where everyone pretends they didn't hear something heavy. I look at Vanessa. She's wearing a dead woman's ring in a house I paid for, and she's smiling. I say one word. Okay. Then I carry the plates to the kitchen because the alternative was a truth that would split that room down the middle, and I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. 20 minutes later, I excuse myself. I walk to the bathroom, lock the door, sit on the edge of the tub with my phone, not to hide, to breathe. I open my email, 3 unread messages, 2 from colleagues, holiday pleasantries, the 3rd from Marcus Webb. Marcus is a real estate attorney I've worked with for years. Smart, precise. The kind of man who uses periods in text messages and never sends a single emoji. That morning, before the drive, before the potatoes, before any of this, I'd emailed him a photo, the photo of that envelope from the recycling bin, just the header. Deed transfer notification, 2 lines. This is my parents' property. I'm a co-signer on the second mortgage. Can you look into this? His reply, timestamped 3:47 p.m. Got your email about the property. Something doesn't look right. Call me Monday. I have worked with Marcus Webb on 12 transactions. He does not say something doesn't look right unless the ground is moving under your feet. Second message, 4 minutes later. Don't sign anything. Don't agree to anything. Call me Monday. No pleasantries. No happy Thanksgiving. Just instructions. I stare at the screen until the backlight dims. Then I splash water on my face, unlock the door, and walk back toward the living room. In the hallway, I nearly collide with Derek, Vanessa's husband. He's leaning against the wall alone, arms crossed. His tie is loosened. He looks like a man who's been arguing with himself and losing. Bridget. His voice is low, almost a whisper. I want you to know. I told her not to do it. I stop. Do what? He opens his mouth, closes it. His eyes dart toward the living room where Vanessa's laugh cuts through the noise. Derek? Vanessa's voice, sharp. He flinches, actually flinches. Then he looks at me straight on. Just check your mail when you get home. The real mail, not email. The stuff in your mailbox. Derek, no. Vanessa again. He pushes off the wall. Pauses. I'm sorry, he says. Then he's gone. Rounding the corner into the living room, where Vanessa is waiting, I stand in the hallway. 2 warnings. 2 men. Neither willing to give me the full picture, whatever is in my mailbox. It scared Derek enough to warn me, but not enough to say it out loud. That tells me everything I need to know about how serious this is. The living room is packed. Vanessa is on the sofa, holding court, telling childhood stories, the kind that sound funny if you weren't there. Remember when Bridget cried at her science fair because nobody came? She made this whole volcano and sobbed when Mom had to work. She always needed so much attention. She's not looking at me. She's looking at the room. Bridget, don't start. Mom from the armchair, sharp, final. Girls, enough. Dad from the recliner, eyes still on the television. But his enough doesn't land on Vanessa. It never does, because I'm the one who responds. Vanessa never has to stop, because nobody ever tells her to start. She keeps going. Another revision of history, another story where she's the responsible one and I'm the fragile one. Then, voice sweet as caramel. I just want us to be a family. Is that so hard for you? 25 people in that room. Not one of them heard how the word family sounded. Coming from a woman wearing my dead grandmother's ring while sitting in a house I pay for. I need water, just a glass of water and 2 minutes where nobody's looking at me. I stand. The only path to the kitchen cuts between the coffee table and the back of the sofa where Vanessa is sitting. I turn sideways to squeeze through. My shoulder brushes hers. The kind of contact that happens 100 times at any family gathering. The kind you don't even register. Vanessa registers it. She goes still mid-sentence. The room notices. The way a room always notices when the loudest person stops making noise. She turns her head slow, her eyes lock onto mine. I see it coming, the way her jaw sets, the way her right hand lifts off the armrest. I see all of it, and I don't move. Because my brain refuses to believe that what is about to happen is about to happen. Not here, not in front of everyone, not over a shoulder brush. I'm wrong. The sound is sharper than I expect, not a thud. A crack. Open palm, full swing, right across my left cheek. My head snaps sideways, my ear rings. I taste something metallic at the corner of my lip. The room freezes. Uncle Ray's beer stops halfway to his mouth. A child near the TV drops a crayon. The furnace kicks on, and the sound of it is deafening because everything else has stopped. I straighten my head. I feel the heat spreading across my cheekbone. I look at Vanessa. Her chest is heaving. Her hand is still in the air, not to hit again, but because she hasn't decided what to do with it yet. 25 people. Not a single one speaks. Even I stand there, I don't raise my hand, I don't step back, I don't say a word, because the next voice that breaks the silence will tell me everything I need to know about my family. Mom moves first. She crosses the room in 3 steps, and for one stupid, hopeful second, I think she's coming to me, that she saw her daughter get slapped, and she's going to do what mothers are supposed to do. She stops in front of me. Her mouth is a thin line. Say sorry or get out now. She's talking to me. She hit me. You provoked her. You always do. I look at Dad. He's already standing. He doesn't say a word. Not one word. He walks to the front door and opens it. The November wind rushes in, scattering a napkin off the side table. He stands there, hand on the knob, holding the door open like he's taking out the trash. I look at the open door. I look at the room. 25 faces. Some horrified, some uncomfortable. None of them stepping forward. The choice isn't made by me. It's made by them. I pick up my coat. I take my keys. I don't rush. I don't stumble. I walk like I'm leaving a conference room after a meeting that ran long. I pass Dad at the door. He's still holding it. His knuckles are white on the knob. I stop just for a moment. Close enough to smell the aftershave he's worn since I was 5. He doesn't look up. I step onto the porch. The cold hits my face, the same cheek Vanessa hit. It stings differently. Cleaner. Behind me. The door closes. I hear the deadbolt turn. Click. I sit in my car for 3 minutes. I put my hands on the wheel at 10 and 2. I look at the house. The windows glow, warm and yellow. I can see shapes moving behind the curtains. I start the car. I turn left onto the county road. The house shrinks in the mirror. Then disappears behind the tree line. 3 hours to Hartford. I don't turn on the radio. I don't call anyone. I don't cry. I just drive somewhere past Scranton. My phone buzzes. Aunt Ruthie. I'm so sorry, honey. That was wrong. All of it. I read it at a red light. I don't respond. I pull into my apartment complex at 11:14 p.m. The parking lot is quiet. The air smells like frozen leaves. I sit in the car for a moment. Then I remember what Derek said. Check your mail. I walk to the cluster of mailboxes at the front entrance. Unit 4B. I turn the key and pull out 3 days of envelopes. Junk. A credit card offer. A water bill. And one from the Fulton County Recorder's Office. Postmarked 5 days ago. I tear it open under the parking lot light. It's a certified copy of a deed transfer. My parents' property, recorded 3 weeks ago. My name. Bridget Sinclair has been removed from the deed. A new name has been added, Vanessa Sinclair. At the bottom, 4 signatures, Gerald Sinclair, Donna Sinclair, Vanessa Sinclair, and a 4th, Bridget Sinclair. I stare at my name, in handwriting that is not mine. The loops are too round. The S doesn't match. Someone signed my name on a legal document without my knowledge, without my consent. Someone forged my signature. I walk inside. I don't take off my coat. I sit at the kitchen table, open my laptop, scan every page, front, back, margins. I email the entire package to Marcus Webb with 1 line. They forged my signature. Call me in the morning. I sit in the dark. The refrigerator clicks on. A car passes outside. At 8 a.m. sharp. My phone rings. Marcus. This is fraud. We file Monday. Monday morning. I'm sitting across from Marcus in his downtown Hartford office. He has reading glasses on and a file that's already thick. Your name was on the original deed as cosigner when the second mortgage was recorded 8 years ago, he says. 3 weeks ago, a new deed was filed, removing you and adding Vanessa Sinclair as co-owner. He slides a photocopy across the desk. There's a signature. It's just not yours. I look at it. The fake Bridget Sinclair stares back at me, loopy, rushed. Nothing like my handwriting. There's more. He takes off his glasses. After the deed transfer was recorded, someone opened a home equity line of credit, a HELOC, secured by the property, $85,000. The application lists Vanessa Sinclair as borrower. The bank approved it based on the equity your payments built. Where did the $85,000 go? A forensic accountant ran a preliminary trace. Most of it went to the business account for Vanessa's nail salon. The rest paid off personal credit card debt in her name. I sit back. Marcus, what are we looking at? He folds his hands on the desk. Forgery of a recorded instrument, real estate fraud, potentially identity-related crimes if she used your personal information on the application. In this state, forgery on a recorded instrument is a felony. The word sits in the room like a dropped plate. What do we do? We protect you. Before lunch, Marcus drafts 3 cease and desist letters. One to Vanessa Sinclair, one to Gerald and Donna Sinclair, one to the bank that approved the HELOC. The language is clean, direct, and devastating. Immediate freeze on the HELOC. Restoration of the original deed with my name reinstated, full accounting of all funds withdrawn, and notice that a criminal complaint will be filed if compliance isn't achieved within 15 days. 15 days, Marcus says. That's generous. While he prints the letters, I open my banking app. For 8 years, I've had automatic transfers running $1,200 a month to my parents' joint account, mortgage payments on the second lien, quarterly transfers to the salon's business account. I cancel them all, every single one. It takes 4 minutes. 8 years of financial support, gone in 6 taps on a screen. Marcus watches me from across the desk. You sure? They forged my name and stole my equity. I'm not funding that. He nods. Once. That's exactly right. The cease and desist letters arrive Wednesday morning. Vanessa's HELOC had been her lifeline, covering rent, supplies, payroll for 3 employees. When the bank froze the line on Marcus's notice, the money stopped. No warning, no grace period, just a dead account. And a landlord who wanted $12,000 by the 10th of the month, she couldn't pay. The salon was already running at a loss. The expansion stories, the gel line, the performance at the Thanksgiving table, all of it was fiction. The HELOC was the only thing keeping the doors open. The landlord posted a 10-day notice on the salon door. Pay or vacate. I know all of this because Derek texted me. One long message at 2 a.m. full of typos. She used the HELOC for everything. Rent, credit cards, everything. She told me it was covered. I told her not to do the deed thing. She said if I said anything, and she'd tell your parents I cheated. I didn't cheat. I just didn't fight hard enough. He ended with, you were supporting the one person who was stealing from you? I'm sorry. I read it twice. I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt the way you feel when a building you've been propping up with your own body finally collapses, relieved that you stepped away, sick at the sound of it falling. Day 9. My father calls. His voice is thinner, older, like the last 10 days have added 10 years. Bertie. He hasn't called me Bertie since I was 12. The sound of it cracks something in my chest. Something I thought I'd already broken clean. This has gone too far. She forged my signature, Dad. She made a mistake. You held the door open for me. On Thanksgiving. You didn't say a word. Silence. I can hear the furnace through the phone. Mom's TV in the background. I didn't know what to say. That's the problem. You never do. His breath shudders. What do you want from us? I want the deed restored. I want the HELOC closed. And I want Vanessa to face the legal consequences of what she did. That's not revenge, Dad. That's the law. She's your sister. She committed a felony against me. Being family doesn't change that. If you do this, his voice drops. Your mother will never forgive you. I close my eyes. She hasn't forgiven me for leaving at 18. I think I'll survive. He hangs up. No goodbye. Just the click of a man who ran out of arguments he never had. Day 15. The deadline. No response. No attorney contact. No compliance. No deed restoration. No HELOC closure. Just silence. And a Facebook post from Vanessa 3 days earlier. Some people use money to control their family. I feel sorry for anyone who thinks love has a price tag. I screenshot it, forward it to Marcus. His reply, she's building a narrative. We file tomorrow. The next morning, Marcus submits the criminal complaint to the district attorney's office, charges forgery of a recorded instrument and real estate fraud, both felonies. The complaint includes the forged deed, bank records showing 8 years of mortgage payments for my account, my affidavit, and a handwriting comparison prepared by a certified document examiner, confirming the signature is not mine. The DA's office assigns a case number within 48 hours. Marcus calls me from his car. It's filed. The DA has it. I look out the windshield at the December sky. Bare trees, the heater running. I gave them 15 days, I say. She gave me a slap and a forged signature. He doesn't respond to that. He doesn't need to. January, the DA opens a formal investigation. Vanessa is summoned for a deposition. She hires a lawyer. The salon is gone permanently. The landlord changes the locks December 22nd. 3 employees out of work 2 days before Christmas. Vanessa posts an Instagram story about unforeseen financial circumstances, which is a creative way to spell I stole my sister's equity and it caught up with me. Derek moves out. He texts me once. I should have said something sooner. I'm sorry. I believe him. Sorry doesn't rewind the clock, but at least he said it. Derek quietly provides the DA's office with a chain of text messages between him and Vanessa. Messages where she discussed the deed transfer, the forged signature, and her plan to open the Hillock before anyone noticed. He doesn't do it for me. He does it because Vanessa threatened to lie about him, and he'd rather tell the truth first. The walls close in, slowly, legally, completely. February, Mom calls one last time. I'm making dinner. Pasta, garlic bread, a glass of wine. When I see her name on the screen, I set the spatula down and answer. Her voice, when she speaks, is different. Not commanding, not sharp, small. I didn't know about the signature, Bridget, I swear. But you knew I was paying for the house. And you told everyone it was Vanessa. Silence. I just wanted to keep her close. She's the only one who stayed. I stayed too, Mom. For 16 years. You just didn't see me because I didn't live in your zip code. She cries. Real crying. The kind that doesn't perform. The kind that just leaks out because there's no more room to hold it. I listen. I don't comfort her. I don't say it's okay because it isn't. But I don't twist the knife either. There's no point in cruelty. Cruelty is what they did to me. I hope you figure this out, Mom. But I can't be the one who fixes it anymore. I hang up. I go back to the stove. The pasta is slightly overcooked. I eat it at the kitchen table alone. And somewhere in Pennsylvania, my mother is sitting in a house she might lose, realizing that the daughter she dismissed for 20 years was the only one keeping the lights on, and the daughter she kept close was the one who set the fire. I wash my plate. I go to bed. I sleep better than I have in months. April. Vanessa takes a plea deal. 2 years probation, full restitution of the $85,000. She doesn't have it. She'll be paying it back in installments for the next decade minimum. Her lawyer argues financial hardship. The judge doesn't seem moved. Meh. 6 months since Thanksgiving, the deed has been restored. My name reinstated. Not because I want the house, but because the fraud had to be reversed before anything else could move forward. Once it's clean, I sell my share to my parents for $1. Marcus files the paperwork on a Tuesday afternoon. You sure about this? He asks, pen hovering. I don't want the house. I want out of it. $1, not because my share is worthless, it's worth tens of thousands, but because I am done. Paying for a seat at a table that was never set for me. The dollar is a period at the end of a very long sentence. March. Aunt Ruthie drives up to visit. She brings a casserole and news. Your father sits on the porch every morning now, she says, settling into my kitchen chair. Rain, frost, doesn't matter. He just stares at the road. I asked him what he's thinking about. He said, I held the door open. I held it open for her to leave. She reaches into her bag and pulls out an envelope. He asked me to bring you this. Wrote it by hand. Took him 3 days. My name is on the front, Bertie, in Dad's careful, blocky handwriting. I open it later, after Ruthie leaves. One page, blue ink on lined paper, torn from a legal pad. He writes that he's sorry. He writes that he always knew I was the dependable one, the one who held things together, but he never said it because he thought I didn't need to hear it. He writes that he was wrong. Everyone needs to hear it. He writes that the night I walked out, he stood at that door for 10 minutes after I left, staring at the driveway, and he knew he'd made a mistake he couldn't undo with a sentence. At the bottom, you deserved better from me. I don't know if I can give it now, but I know I should have given it then. Inside the envelope, wrapped in a tissue, Grandma May's sapphire ring. He took it back from Vanessa. I hold it in my palm. It weighs almost nothing. It weighs everything. I put it in my nightstand drawer. I don't write back. Not yet. It's a Saturday night in May. Late. The apartment is quiet. I open my nightstand drawer. Gerald's letter folded neatly. The sapphire ring beside it. Still in the tissue he sent. I take the ring out. Hold it up to the lamp. Deep blue. Almost violet at the edges. The nick from the garden fence still there. Exactly where it's always been. Grandma May never got it repaired. She said the flaw was part of the story. I slide it onto my right ring finger. It fits perfectly. The way it always did when I was little, pretending to be grown. Grandma May told me to keep them together. I tried. For 16 years, I bent myself into the shape of that promise. I wrote the checks. I swallowed the insults. I stood in the back of the photo. I peeled the potatoes and sat in the chair by the door and drove 3 hours each way to be treated like a stranger in a house I was paying for. But Grandma May didn't raise me to be a doormat. She raised me to be a bridge, someone who connects, who carries weight, who holds things up. She just didn't tell me that even bridges have weight limits. She said, keep them together. She didn't say, let them tear you apart. I think she'd understand. I think if she were sitting across from me right now, smelling like lavender and brown sugar, she'd take my hand and say, you did enough, Bertie. You did more than enough. I look at the ring. I look out the window, the streetlight below, the empty sidewalk, the first warm night of the year. I smile, the first real smile in this whole story. Not because everything is fixed, because something is finally mine. I don't hate my family. I want you to hear that clearly. I don't hate them. My parents are flawed, frightened, human. My sister is selfish and desperate and small. My father is a good man who never learned to speak up. My mother is a scared woman who confused proximity with love. They're not monsters. They're just people who got used to taking from someone who never said no. Until she did, I used to think loyalty meant never walking away. That keeping a promise meant keeping yourself small so other people could stay comfortable. Now I know. Loyalty to yourself is the first loyalty. Everything else comes after. You can love people and still refuse to let them destroy you. You can forgive without returning to the scene of the crime. You can sell your share for $1 and walk away richer than you've ever been. I don't know if I'll talk to my parents again, maybe at Christmas, maybe next year. I'm not closing the door, I'm just not holding it open. For people who've already shown me what they do when they have the chance to walk through it. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not fight, not yell, not prove anything to anyone. Just walk out the door, close it behind you, and build something that's yours. Grandma May would understand. The sapphire catches the light. The nick in the setting winks at me, like a secret between us. I smile, and I mean it. If you're still here, thank you. Now I need to know something. Would you have walked out that Thanksgiving night, or would you have stayed and fought? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and if this story reminded you of someone who needs to hear that they're allowed to stop giving, share it with them. Sometimes the most important thing someone can hear is this: you've done enough. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.